What if I told you the foods you've been eating every day, even the ones you think are good for you, are quietly working against you? Today, we're counting down the 10 worst foods according to Ayurveda. And number one, it's something most people eat daily, convinced they're being healthy. Before we start, a quick note on Ayurveda. If you've never heard of it, it's a traditional medical system focused on how food and lifestyle affect digestion, energy, disease, and long-term vitality. And that leads to a very different way of judging food. Ayurveda doesn't just ask if something is healthy in theory, it asks how it behaves inside your body. That's a completely different question. A kale salad might be healthy on paper, but if your body can't digest it properly, it's not doing you any good. Meanwhile, something simple like rice and lentils cooked fresh with a little ghee, that might be exactly what you need. So when I say worst, I don't mean evil or forbidden. I mean most likely to disrupt your digestion, drain your energy, or create buildup in your system over time. One concept you'll hear me mention is agni, which is your digestive fire. Think of it like a furnace in your gut. When it's burning strong, you break down food efficiently, absorb what you need, and feel energized. But when it's weak or overwhelmed, food sits around half-processed, fermenting, and creating what Ayurveda calls ama, basically metabolic sludge that gunks up your system. When ama accumulates, it shows up as congestion, sluggishness, skin issues, brain fog, and that heavy feeling after eating. Every food on this list weakens agni, creates ama, or both. That's the thread. Interestingly enough, many of these principles are now being echoed in modern gut and metabolic research. All right, let's get into it, starting with number 10, cheese, especially cold, aged, or melted. Okay, before you click away, hear me out. Cheese is not evil, it's just powerful, and most people are eating it in ways that overwhelm their digestion. Cheese is heavy, dense, and sticky. It takes significant agni to break down. Aged cheeses are even more concentrated. And cold cheese straight from the fridge? As we'll see throughout this list, anything cold makes your gut work overtime. And then there's everyone's favorite, melted cheese on top of bread or meat. Sorry to burst your cheeseburger and pizza bubbles, but now you're layering digestive challenges. This doesn't mean you can never eat cheese, but maybe not every day, maybe not cold, and maybe not piled on top of already heavy meals. If you're gonna have cheese, bring it to room temperature first and have it midday when your digestion is strongest. Also, treat it as the main event, not a topping, which gives it space to digest on its own. Next up, number 9, refined sugar, especially late in the day. This is no surprise. You knew sugar would be on this list. White sugar gives you a spike of energy followed by a crash. That crash triggers cravings for more sugar, which triggers another spike and another crash. You know the cycle. It's exhausting. And it's draining your energy reserves over time. What most people don't realize is that timing matters as much as quantity. Sugar late in the day disrupts cortisol rhythms and impairs sleep quality. You might fall asleep fine, but the sleep you're getting isn't as restorative. Now, I'm not saying you can never have dessert, but try having it at lunch instead of after dinner. And make it something real, like a piece of dark chocolate or a few dates, instead of processed candy. Small shift, big difference over time. Now, number 8 is sugar alcohol sweeteners: erythritol, xylitol, maltitol, and sorbitol. These are everywhere now in the form of sugar-free cookies, keto ice cream, and protein bars sold as guilt-free treats. One of the worst culprits is monk fruit sweetener because they cut it heavily with erythritol. 100% monk fruit powder does exist, but it's very expensive. The pitch is appealing, sweetness without the blood sugar spike. But your body isn't about that nonsense. While these compounds do exist in nature, it's only in trace amounts in some fruits. Meanwhile, the sugar alcohols in your protein bar are industrially manufactured, and the concentrations are over 1,000 times higher than what occurs naturally. Your body knows how to handle a tiny amount in a pear. It does not know what to do with 30 grams in a keto cookie. These sweeteners confuse your body because your taste buds signal that sugar is incoming, but then nothing arrives. That mismatch disrupts digestion. But here's where it gets serious. A major study found that people with high blood levels of erythritol were about twice as likely to have heart attacks or strokes over just 3 years. Researchers associated this with a risk of increased clotting, possibly due to platelet activation. Other studies show they may impair blood vessel function and increase oxidative stress in the brain. So we're not just talking about a stomachache here. We're talking about potential long-term damage to your heart and brain. Your body always prefers honesty over loopholes. If you want something sweet, have something naturally sweet, just less of it. A little raw honey, some dates, or a piece of fruit. Your body knows what to do with real food. It doesn't know what to do with chemistry experiments. Okay, on to number 7. Ultra-processed protein bars and shakes. These are marketed as fitness food or health on the go. In reality, most of them are candy with protein powder and a better marketing strategy. The protein itself is often highly processed, meaning it's in the form of isolated fractions that don't digest or assimilate the same way whole food proteins do. Then you've got the emulsifiers, the stabilizers, the sugar alcohols, and the artificial flavors. Your gut doesn't know what to do with all that. Yet another chemistry experiment. More protein isn't better if your digestion can't keep up. You end up feeling full, but also bloated and gassy, which, newsflash, means you're not absorbing the nutrients. Studies show that additives and emulsifiers in ultra-processed foods disrupt gut signaling and alter your microbiome within weeks. That's not a long-term problem. That's happening now. If you need portable protein, try a handful of soaked nuts. Quick question, do you eat protein bars regularly? Have you noticed how they make you feel? Let's talk about it in the comments. Next on the list is number 6, raw foods in excess. Now, this one might throw you for a loop because eat your veggies is like the one thing everyone agrees on. And we've all heard the facts about how heat destroys the nutrients in your food. But the Ayurvedic perspective tells a very different story. You see, raw food is cold and rough by nature. It takes a very strong digestive fire to break it down. Now, some digestive systems can handle this, but if your agni is already weak, which is honestly the case for most people, a giant raw salad can overwhelm the system. So instead of absorbing nutrients, your digestive fire gets put out completely. High fiber plus low digestive capacity can actually impair nutrient absorption. So you're eating all this healthy food and getting less from it than you would if it was cooked. And it's not just vegetables. Ayurveda is cautious about anything raw, including nuts and seeds. That's why traditional preparation always involves soaking them overnight because it breaks down enzyme inhibitors and makes them far easier to digest. Raw isn't always superior. Digestible is. The fix? Lightly cook your vegetables with a little ghee or coconut oil if you're plant-based, and add warming spices like cumin or ginger. Soak your nuts and seeds and save raw salads for lunch on hot days when your digestion is at its peak. And that leads us to number 5, which is cold dairy. We already covered cheese, so now let's talk about milk, yogurt, and ice cream. Now, dairy isn't inherently bad. Properly prepared, it's considered deeply nourishing. The problem is how most people consume it. Think about how milk exists in nature. It comes warm, straight from the mother's body into the infant's mouth. Nowhere in nature does milk come ice cold from a refrigerator. Dairy is inherently heavy, and cold plus heavy equals mucus and sluggish digestion. So that glass of cold milk straight from the fridge is giving your agni an almost impossible task. Cold yogurt for breakfast? Same problem. Late night ice cream? Don't even get me started. Research shows cold dairy delays gastric emptying and increases congestion for many people. Milk should be boiled first. This changes its structure and makes it lighter. Then add warming spices like cardamom, ginger, or cinnamon and drink it warm and away from meals. Did you know that warm spiced milk at night actually helps you sleep? Think about that term milk drunk we use for babies. It's not just funny, it's physiology. Now, yogurt should be eaten at room temperature, ideally at midday. You can even mix it with a little water and cumin to make it lighter. But never heat yogurt like you would milk. That actually makes it harder to digest. Now, some of you might be thinking we're not designed to consume dairy at all after we're done nursing. And you're not wrong. You really don't need it. Everything Ayurveda recommends with dairy products works beautifully with coconut oil, nut milks, and coconut yogurts instead. It's not traditional, but the principles are the same. Keep it warm, fresh, properly prepared, and high quality. If this is opening your eyes, hit like and subscribe and get ready for the top 4 because this is where it gets serious. Now, number 4 is refined vegetable oils, especially the toxic seed oils. The most common ones you'll see are canola, soybean, corn, sunflower, safflower, and that mystery blend called vegetable oil. These are everywhere: restaurants, packaged foods, and probably sitting in your pantry right now. Here's the problem. These oils are extracted using high heat, pressure, and chemical solvents. I'm gonna say that last one again, just in case you missed it. Chemical solvents. By the time they reach your kitchen, they're already damaged at a molecular level. Then you heat them again to cook, and they degrade even further. Damaged fats create inflammation and disrupt cellular function. Over time, that low-grade inflammation becomes the foundation for much bigger problems. It's not fat that's the enemy, it's damaged fat and industrial chemicals. Traditional cooking fats like ghee, coconut oil, and olive oil have been used for thousands of years because they're stable. But here's the key. These need to be organic, unrefined, and cold pressed. A cheap, refined coconut oil that's been bleached and deodorized isn't much better than the seed oils you're trying to avoid. So read your labels. That healthy salad dressing? Probably canola oil. Those veggie chips? Sunflower oil. Fun fact, canola is an acronym, not a plant. The plant is rapeseed, and rapeseed oil was historically used as an industrial lubricant before being modified for food consumption. There is no circumstance in which that is good for you, organic or not. Next up, number 3, cold smoothies and iced drinks. That green smoothie you've been blending up every morning thinking you're being healthy? In reality, you're doing more harm than good. Greens like spinach and kale are inherently cooling by nature, so based on that alone, they shouldn't be eaten first thing in the morning. Then, when you blend them with ice and frozen fruit, you're piling cold on top of cold. Your digestive fire doesn't even stand a chance. Your gut needs warmth to work properly, and your digestive enzymes function best at body temperature. When you dump something frozen into your stomach first thing in the morning, your agni has to work overtime just to warm everything up before it can even start thinking about digesting anything. Research confirms this. Cold liquids slow gastric enzyme activity and delay stomach emptying, which means food sits longer, ferments more, and you absorb less. I mean, a cold drink on a hot summer afternoon when your digestion is strong isn't gonna kill you. But first thing in the morning when agni is just waking up, or during meals, that's when it hurts. The fix? Let smoothies come to room temperature. Or better yet, blend with room temperature liquids and skip the ice altogether. But temperature isn't even the biggest problem with smoothies. And that brings us to number 2, food combinations that fight each other. This one trips people up because the individual foods seem fine. It's the combination that creates chaos. You see, different foods have different digestion times and require different enzymes and pH levels of stomach acidity. When you combine foods that conflict, your gut gets confused. So instead of clean, efficient digestion, you get fermentation and ama, even if every ingredient on your plate is healthy. Let's break down the biggest offenders. First is fruit with almost anything. Fruit digests incredibly fast in just 20 to 30 minutes. Proteins, fats, and starches, on the other hand, take hours. When you combine them, the fruit sits on top of everything else, waiting. And while it waits, it ferments. This means your yogurt parfait, your protein shake with milk, bananas, and peanut butter, and those berries in your oatmeal are all causing problems. Melon is the worst. Melon should always be eaten alone, not even with other fruits, by itself. If you want fruit, eat it as its own meal. Give it 30 minutes before other food or a couple of hours after. Now, cooked fruit is different, so if you do want blueberries and bananas in your oatmeal, cook them in with some warming spices like cinnamon. Just don't put them raw on top. This leads us into the second rule, which is that raw and cooked foods don't mix. Your salad should just be raw veggies, not veggies with grilled chicken or salmon on top. They need different digestive processes. Together, neither gets handled properly. Third is protein and starches. They require different pH levels to digest. Since acids and bases cancel each other out, the food just ferments in your stomach. Here's the rule. Eat protein with veggies or starches with veggies, but not protein and starches together. I know, it's another sad day for your cheeseburgers and meat lovers pizza. Fourth is dairy with meat or fish. Allow me to ruin some of your other favorite meals, like creamy salmon pasta, fish tacos with sour cream and cheese, chicken Alfredo. All of these create serious ama. Same goes for milk with salt, which includes most creamy savory dishes and cheese sauces. Sorry, but not sorry. Fifth is hot and cold together. Ice water with a warm meal, hot soup followed by ice cream. These temperature clashes confuse agni and slow everything down. And this brings us to why smoothies are such a minefield. People throw fruit, milk, protein powder, nut butter, raw greens, and ice, everything into the blender. That's like 4 or 5 food combining violations all blended into one cup. And now you know why you need a gas mask around those dudes at the gym. And finally, we've made it to number 1, leftovers, especially when reheated multiple times. I told you this one would surprise you. Whether we're trying to save time, money, our health, or all three, most of us have been sucked into meal prep culture, batch cooking on Sunday and eating that same food all week. I hate to break it to you, but that method is slowly draining your vitality. The moment food is cooked, it loses life force. Call it prana, call it freshness, call it whatever you want. The point is, food works best with your body when it's fresh. The longer it sits, the more that life force degrades. By the time you're reheating something on the second or third day, you're eating something that's energetically dead. Refrigerating slows bacterial growth, sure, but there's other stuff happening too, including the loss of the subtle qualities that make food truly nourishing. Research shows that reheated fats become even more inflammatory, proteins degrade, and starchy foods change in ways that affect blood sugar response. Additionally, bacterial counts still increase in refrigerated food within 24 hours. Because this is the most normalized food habit in modern life, that makes it the most insidious. People eat leftovers multiple times a day, thinking they're being responsible. Meanwhile, that constant low-grade burden on digestion becomes the background noise of chronic fatigue, digestive disorders, autoimmune conditions, and unexplained inflammation and weight gain. I know cooking fresh every meal isn't realistic for everyone, so here's the compromise. Cook your grains and legumes in batches, but add fresh vegetables and spices when you serve them. Also, never eat food that's more than 24 hours old, and don't reheat it more than once. And when you do eat leftovers, add something alive like fresh herbs, lemon juice, or ginger. just something fresh to revitalize it a bit. And pro tip, reheat on the stovetop or in the oven instead of the microwave. Just use that thing for storage. Trust. And there you have it. Notice what's not here. No never eat meat, no nightshades or poison, and no fear-based extremes. Just practical advice based on how food actually behaves in your body. Digestive capacity matters most. In addition to that, temperature matters, timing matters, and combinations matter. That's Ayurveda, simplified. If this changed how you think about food, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And check out one of these videos right here to keep learning about how to work with your body instead of against it. Remember, longevity isn't luck, it's a lifestyle. Until next time.